Hello everybody, come with me as we're going to go Pokemon Go and raid for Shadow Mewtwo weekend. First of all, we've got supplies. We've got the Anchor charging. Always make sure you've got a charging power pack and plenty of cables to keep your phone all charged up throughout the day. You could be out there for hours and the last thing you want is for your phone battery to die. Next up, we've got our charger. During raid day, usually most people take a pit stop. If you can find a place where you can stop, have some coffee, some lunch, plug your phone to the wall and charge. Next up, we've got the lucky hat. Really important, especially in weather, wherever you're raiding. If it's rainy, take a coat. If it's cold, wrap up warm. If it's sunny, take a hat. You don't want the sun to get in your eyes and to get sunburn. So always prep for your raid day, depending on where you are in the world. Finally, make sure you drink plenty of water, and we are ready to go. Next up, it is the prep time. So I got into town obviously quite early, just completing a 12-hour shift, and this was the only day. So this was the Sunday. I couldn't do Saturday, unfortunately, so I made sure that I was all ready and prepped to do Sunday after work. So walking through the centre of town, Nottingham is my raid town, so that's where the community usually lies, and most people will do raids. Unfortunately, where I live, there's not that big of a Pokemon Go community, so especially doing, oh look, a Pidgey. So especially doing leisure raids, it's kind of impossible to do unless you've got plenty of players to collaborate with and take down that boss. As we're walking through town, I want to just talk you through what I did to make sure I was ready to get and utilise the most, to get the most out of the day. So first of all, we mega evolved our Latias in order to get that extra XL candy when catching Mewtwo's, getting that psychic type there. Fortunately, I do have a really good Mega Latias, as you can see here, from 98. I don't think I'll ever get better than that. So it's more valuable for me to get the Mega XL candies by having it Mega evolving the Psychic type than it is to do extra damage. There's plenty of people in raids that will Mega evolve the best counters. Mewtwo being as rare as it is, it's quite difficult. It's quite rare in any circumstance, but in order to get candies, not to mention XL candies, to find a level 50 Mewtwo, it's just best to Mega evolve something in the same type, so you're really getting the most that you can out of the day. Another important thing to do when you're prepping is make sure you have a team of good counters against your raid bosses. The more damage you do, the more rewards you'll get from the raid, so always make sure you have a team in mind. So here's my team that I used today. Excitingly, we move on to the egg section of the video. So during this Rocket Takeover event, there's been a lot more admins, so I've stocked up on 12 kilometer eggs, hoping really for a female Salander or anything obviously shiny or 100 would be incredible. My true aim here is to get that female Salander because it is unfortunately exclusive in eggs, and the only way to evolve it is by getting a female version, just like obviously Combi. So fingers crossed, you'll find out a little bit later, did we manage to complete that little side quest or did we not? Anyway, here we are in Nottingham. The fuel, a very, very important day. I actually had 3 hours to kill before the event and meetup actually started at 10 o'clock. So jumped into local Witherspoons, got some bottomless coffee and began to start perking up with some caffeine. That was one yummy mocha, I must admit. I must have had about 2 or 3 in that place. Next, obviously, make sure you fill up with plenty of food. So as it was going to be a big day, I went for a hearty, big, full English, and that was absolutely delicious. So now breakfast is out of the way and my body was full, it was now time to start walking towards the meetup. I did spend quite a while at that Witherspoons, obviously charging my phone, make sure everything was charged up, ready to go, and just obviously catching Pokemon, battling grunts, etc. However, something interesting I did hear while I was in that having breakfast was there was a group of lads in there talking about their experiences the night before, and they were talking about their tattoos, and one was on about their tattoos saying everybody dies but not everybody lives. And I just thought, oh, that was quite profound, you know. That's a really good quote to live by, in a sense. You do what makes you happy, and yeah, we are all gonna eventually die one day, so the best thing is to live while you can and enjoy what you can. Anyway, enough with the profound stuff, let's get into the beginning of the raid. Now, one final thing before we get into our first raid was the meetup was strong. There was at least 20 people there at 10 o'clock ready to start raiding. I actually met this guy called David, a really nice guy. We started talking about the event, our experiences with Pokemon Go, and we actually decided to party up and get some extra damage, and it was just really nice. That's one of the best things about this game is it brings people together as a community. So yeah, me and David spent most of the day raiding together. There will be a little addition as we go through this video, but yeah, we just spoke about our luck, our shinies, what I was hoping for today. He himself hadn't managed to do any raids the day before, really, maybe 1 or 2. So obviously his hunt was that Shadow Shiny Mewtwo too, and it's just cool we've all got a collective goal together and to have some fun. But other than that, let's get into our first raid. I've got to be honest, it is so therapeutic to be in a full lobby where you're able to actually defeat the legendary boss. Now, with shadow raids, there is that obviously difference because you can't use remote raid passes. You have to be either in person with your community, collaboratively battling this in order to defeat it. I've had so many times where myself or whoever I'm with are just not strong enough to beat these legendary raid bosses, and therefore don't even have a chance to catch it. So actually, to be in a full lobby where we can actually take it down in under a minute is, I don't know, it's just really, really therapeutic. Really, you know, it feels good that you are definitely going to get a chance to catch this. Whether you get it or not is, you know, completely irrelevant. You've actually beaten it, especially being shadow raids as well. They're some of the strongest Pokemon in the game, and they are extremely difficult, except when you have a full lobby of very high level players and very high CP Pokemon. So unfortunately, a lot of the footage did crash, so this kind of is a bit of a overarching experience I had with Mewtwo raids. I must have done about 10 on the day, just kept going and going and going and going. But sadly, as you'll find out during this footage, well, I didn't have the easiest time with it. I'm not an excellent curveball master. I don't know how to throw balls. This was the first time I actually had experience trying to catch a Shadow Mewtwo. Other than Giovanni, this was the only time I've actually had a chance of it. And I'm trying my best to work out a pattern. I can't pine at these, it'll only make it more difficult. So a lot of the time I just went for a golden raspberry just so I can confirm and give myself as much chance as I could to catch it. And then we get going again and again and again. I was just trying to find a pattern. But honestly, your balls go down rather quick, or maybe just luck wasn't on my side. You know, maybe other players around me were able to catch it within 1, 2, maybe 3 balls. That was a really bad throw there. But it's quite difficult to find a pattern, and you're waiting just for that opening to throw your ball, and just hopefully 3 rolls and it catches. Again, it jumps out, another golden raspberry. We try, trying to get that excellent if we can. If not, oh well. Maybe I'm just being a bit too quick with it. Obviously, 20 people around me, catching them, they're ready to go on to the next raid. You don't want to rush this, but you're also mindful of where you're at and the people you're around, and trying to make the most out of the day by getting to the next one. It is really important. I suppose the best thing you can do is chalk it up to practice. You're not, you know, keep your expectations low. You're not going to catch every single raid boss, legendary Pokemon you encounter, especially Shadow. They're so aggressive that the window you can actually throw your ball and make contact with a Pokemon is so small as it is. So don't beat yourself up and don't get too upset if you don't manage to catch it. And that was my kind of mindset going in. I don't expect to catch anything, honestly. If I can catch 1 or 2, incredible. But I will make the most of the raid passes that I've stored up for such a long time, because this is the best thing in the game to really raid for me personally. The last time I had a raid day like this was Rayquaza all the way back in the Hoenn Tour. Really enjoyed that day. And obviously with the shiny as well, that is the prize to go for, and that is a guaranteed catch. Anything else is a bonus, whether it's low CP, it doesn't matter, because Shadow Pokemon are essentially glass cannons, and they are able, their stats, even though they may be lower than a regular form, they're actually better and more viable in different game modes. And that was it. Goodbye Mewtwo. I wish I could say I wasn't that unlucky, but unfortunately I think out of the 4 or 5 we've done, I think I managed to get 1, maybe 2, so I wasn't on very good odds. However, as we were walking, we also met another player. name was Meg, and she pied up with us as well. And again, going through our experiences and our goals we wanted to achieve in the day, it was nice. We then added another member to our party for that additional damage. So we got all that done, and actually it's during this period in which our eggs were just about to hatch. So here it is, the exciting moment. Now I don't tend to stack eggs very often, but in this event I felt like I needed to. So there we are, 12 kilometer eggs. Here we go, we're hoping for that female Salandit. So the more Salandits I see, the better I felt. Baroom, really good, brand new Pokemon introduced in eggs. So I'm pretty sure that was just enough to make a Ravaroom. There we go, first Salandit. Again, I can't tell just by looking if it's male or female, so I'll have to go in. Poignard, really good. I think the new shiny introducing eggs for this event was the shiny Sandile. Shiny Salandile, that was the one. That was a new one in eggs. If I got it, amazing. If not, I wasn't too keen on it, so it's all good. As you can see, as we're hatching the eggs, we're getting those more rare spawns. A lot of these were actually spawning at the event, funny enough. There we are, another Salandit. It's what we like to see. Just praying and hoping one of these was female was the main thing. Tyranitar, fantastic. Especially in eggs, you can tend to get really good IV Pokemon. So from all I know, any of these could have been 100. So that's 12 chances to get a relatively rare Pokemon at 100% IV. And another room. So again, more candy, more Excel candy, more Stardust. It's definitely worth harbouring eggs, especially when you've got an event like this. Vullaby, I hatched a shiny one not too long ago, so that was quite exciting too. Now let's just go through the stats. And, you know, again, they're great stats, but I guess you kind of get spoiled. Now, sadly, these Salandits are male, so won't be able to evolve these, unfortunately. But not a bad little haul there. Not a bad little haul indeed. That Poignard's pretty cool. Might be the best I have. I'll have to do some research when I finish the event. And Sprigatito from another egg. But not what I wanted, but pretty good as well. Oh, and it was a final 2 as well that I forgot about. So I was really excited just to see. Maybe, can this redeem female Salandit? Larvitar, not grand. And the final one was another Vullaby. Again, obviously, we've just got to check those IVs. Maybe there's something special in them. Maybe there is. Not quite on that one, and not so much on that one. But hey ho, we had a go. That's 12 kilometer eggs hatched. A lot of Stardust, a lot of candies, a lot of XP. So I think I expected this event to be similar to the Groudon Kyogre events, where more or less every gym was a, you know, Shadow Legendary raid and would be going off every hour. Sadly for this one, it wasn't quite like that. There was a lot of times where we'd have to walk from one end of the city to the other and try and plan a route to optimize it. There was obviously a lot more catching, a lot more fun happening in between that time, bit of downtime. I remember David and Meg and myself were playing a little A to Z a Pokemon game just to pass the time, as well as catching, beating grunts and things of that nature. So it was still a fun day, but maybe not as many raids as I'd hoped for, or as many in proximity or around as I'd like to. By this time of the day, I believe it was about 12 o'clock at this point, 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, we had probably only done about 5 raids, and that's fine, but I was kind of feeling a slightly bit deflated of how much it actually ran away. So we started making our own little side quest. Now with the new party challenges, you can actually obtain encounters with Pokemon. Now I'd only done a couple before this day and mostly managed to get Diglets with really good IVs, so we made like a little side quest to each other who could get the 100% IV Diglett, and funnily enough, David actually managed to secure that after a raid a little bit later on. As we was going through, was obviously doing challenges. One of those was trade a Pokemon, so me and David actually traded a Pokemon, and I got this, a Lucky Ordino. Now I traded him a Dineo for it, and he got like a 98 Lucky one, and I was like, it's always one of those, if only we knew it was going to be lucky, we'd try something a little bit better. But it was a random lucky trade, and we was both kind of excited about that, to both get lucky Pokemon out of it. So brilliant. And then it got us thinking, well, if that's the case, and obviously I do follow Pokedax's videos about if you have 20, 16, 17 or 18 Pokemon, you have this chance to have a guaranteed 25 lucky trades. Now I've done a few of these with my partner, so I know I've probably done about 10, but I still know I've got some left in the tank. So if I could find something worth trading, maybe me and Meg could stack the odds so we get a lucky trade. So as a result, there was no Mewtwo's going off, so everyone kind of dispersed for 30 minutes. So we went to a local coffee shop, and that's when decided to trade a 2017 Kangaskhan all the way from the Birmingham event years ago for something that I wanted to have a re-roll of IVs for. Now if you know anything about this channel, my experience with Pokemon Go, you know there's a thing called 100% Pokedex in the game, and it shows you every Pokemon you've had that was a perfect 100%. Sadly, I don't know how, but I'm missing a Beldum and a Squirtle from my account. I don't know where these Pokemon came from. Maybe they were years ago when the IVs weren't really there and it used to say simply amazing and you didn't know what you quite had. Maybe I've just transferred them accidentally. I'm not too sure. However, it's always been a thing to me to try and regain those missing 100% Pokemon in my account. So we made a deal and we decided to trade one of my Kangaskhan for one of her Beldums, and this is the result. A lucky 98 Beldum. I could not believe my eyes. I actually turned my phone over on the table because I was a bit, will it be lucky, will it not? But it was a lucky 98, so close to that perfect 100. But you know what, I don't even care anymore. To me, that ticks that hole in my 100% Pokedex, because a lucky Pokemon is cheaper to power up as well. And with Metagross eventually getting its Mega Evolution, this thing is going to be an absolute powerhouse. So thank you very much, Meg. Definitely a worthwhile trade. Let's get back to showing you the catching and the hatching. So now things have really started to pick up. We'd had a little break, all the group had reconvened, and we'd gone to a stop called the Millstone. Little did I know this was the actual raid in which I'd get the best highlight of the day. Now we're making our way there, we're hatching eggs, we're really happy. We've just done a Tapu Lele raid just in a coffee shop alone, which was incredible as it was. I don't really get to do them either. I wasn't too keen on it, but when you're with a group, we did it with 4 of us. We met another player in the coffee shop who had also gone through their experiences. They managed to get a 3-star Shadow Mewtwo, which was really amazing, so kudos to them. Can't quite remember what your name was, but yours a really cool guy as well. And this is it. You could meet people literally an hour ago and you all share that common interest in that same thing. A massive shout out to our ambassador Ryan and the other people that work with the Nottingham Pokemon Go group as well. You really do hold some fantastic events to make sure everyone feels included and everyone feels safe as well. So this was the Mewtwo. Unfortunately, my screen capture kind of corrupted just as we were finishing battling this raid. But yeah, again, my hopes and my positivity was rising again. We've just done that lucky trade, so I thought if I don't come away with anything today, I've got 1 or 2 Shadow Mewtwo that I wasn't going to get anyway, so pleased with that. And most importantly, I managed to get frustration off them as well, otherwise I'd have them to be waiting to the next Rocket event. So I was constantly telling people, if you've got a good one, please make sure you TM frustration off your Shadow Pokemon, otherwise you will be stuck with it for a while. Obviously, as you're waiting for a raid, we usually let the time run out until the lobby's absolutely full and everyone's got a chance to get into the raid. Make sure if you can put a lucky egg on, put a star piece on, double that XP, double that Stardust, because Stardust is such a commodity in Pokemon Go to help you power up your Pokemon. It is super duper important. Anyway, sit back, relax, and watch us smash this Mewtwo in under a minute. Now, unfortunately, as stated before, my game did crash before me being able to capture the recording of this, but that raid did generate this shiny Shadow Mewtwo. At the time, the weather was windy, so that meant we had weather boosted Mewtwo's in our raids, and when I saw that green and those sparkles, it hit me with such euphoria. This is it. This is the prize everyone is going for, and to get a pretty alright stats level as well, which we'll have a look at the end of the video. The first thing I did was immediately TM frustration off that Pokemon. It just made the whole day worth it. All the highs, all the lows, maybe not being able to get him, not even be able to capture it, to getting that shiny Shadow Mewtwo. Honestly, probably the crown jewel of my Pokemon Go collection, and definitely the worthwhile reason for doing these raid events. Anyway, a few more clips of us hatching, catching and doing a few more raids on the side as well, but that was certainly the highlight of my day, and I'm pleased to report both David and Meg were also able to get their shinies within the next hour as well. So all smiles all around, everyone's having a good day, and a lot of younger players as well. A lot of parents and children now play this game as well, as they always do. But it was nice to see the children also getting that shiny Shadow as well, because that instills a love of Pokemon for themselves, and that kind of creates core memory, and they also are enjoying Pokemon the same way we do. So without further ado, I think it's time we go through the recap. So these were the best of the best highlights of my day. Here's all my Shadow Mewtwo's that I was able to catch. We'll go through them one by one with their stats. So like I say, towards the middle of the day we started to get weather boosted, which really did help things. And as stated before, Shadow versions of Pokemon can sometimes be better than a regular version. So even though the IVs may not be the best, it still might be better than your normal versions. That shiny, I'm still gobsmacked we were able to get that. So worth it, such a prize. And there's my armoured Lucky Mewtwo as a little bonus there. What a great Pokemon that was to trade. And yeah, so other than that though, there was some incredible hatches and spawns. We managed to get this 98 Gumi, which is fantastic, and I wanted a 98 Mates tag. Furthermore, the Pokemon Go Plus really did put some work in today. Lots and lots of catching for the Gen 4 big masterwork research. A lot of Pokemon will finally be able to tick off. Look at this, shiny Smoochum. Didn't even realise when it hatched from an egg. Not bad IVs. The sparkles, I never would have guessed it. So excellent little hatch there. Didn't expect that. A brand new baby shiny to the collection. That shiny Mewtwo. Wow, wow, wow. And then also there was another. The Go Plus caught a shiny Axew. Incredible. I never look at my journal for the when I'm using my Go Plus, because I think it hurts you more than anything. But just scrolling back through, look at all these Pokemon. Over 200 Pokemon just caught throughout the day, mostly with the Plus, and it doesn't even feel like that much. There's that lucky 98 Beldum, which will be getting evolved at some point, definitely, especially when that Mega Metagross comes out. But that's it. I caught so many Pokemon today that it might feel like stacks, but it doesn't feel like that. When you're actually on the day, when you're with friends and you're all doing the same thing, it's absolutely incredible. Again, that lucky Ordino that came out of just a random trade with David, incredible. We had a lot of fun that day, and I hope they had a lot of fun too. But just reams and reams and stacks of Pokemon. Those 12k egg hatches went through earlier. There was just so many highlights, so much to enjoy about this day that I won't forget in a heartbeat. Again, we're just going to go through those IVs. Again, not bad either. I'm kind of a little bit indecisive what to evolve, what to transfer. I'm really going to have to do some homework on this and see what, because some of these might be my best versions of Pokemon. I just don't know that yet. All in all, what an exciting and fantastic day. Even though I only got to do one of those days, incredible day. And look, shiny Zeraora that I caught the day before. What a great way, the cherry on top, to finish this amazing day. Which nicely brings me on to the final thoughts. So, what did I think of Mewtwo, Shadow Mewtwo Raid Day? Well, I thought it was excellent. I thought it was so worthwhile and re-sparks my love for Pokemon Go all over again. Here's a beautiful double rainbow from my area that I just thought kind of encapsulates the day. Don't have the highest expectations going in, but be pleasantly surprised with the little things, you know, got to meet 2 fantastic new players, and we'd had a lot of great memories of this event, and I really do hope to see them again soon. So thank you, David, thank you, Meg. A massive thank you to Ryan and all the other admins for the Pokemon ambassadors for the Nottingham area. You always host a fantastic event, so thank you for that. Other than that, I hope you really enjoy this style of vlogging, Pokemon Go event day vlog. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. I hope you had a grand time if you participated yourself. Other than that, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.